Hey everybody, welcome back to Croonie's Corner for this week's episode. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to take your range game to the golf course. So a couple of key things, and then also you can kind of use this to get ready for any golf tournaments, like if you're playing in a member or member guest, anything where you've got a scorecard in your pocket where you need to shoot a score. So one of the things that I've learned over the years is that routine equals rhythm, and I got that from Pete Cowan. So Pete always talked about routine equals rhythm. And the thing I realized when I was playing a lot of golf, like at a young age, is that I sort of got myself subconsciously into a routine. And then as I got older, I started finding some difficulty in taking my range game to the golf course. And I realized that my routine on the golf course was very different than the routine that I had on the range. And both of those things will always be a bit different, depending upon what type of practice that we're engaging in, at the range. But one of the things I really try to focus on now is when I'm ever competing or need to shoot a score, I'll always spend some time in my practice getting the routine dialed in. So making sure that it's consistent, the time, the seconds that I use to get to the golf ball is consistent. There was an interesting thing. If you looked at Tiger had a putt in the first round of the 2008 US Open, and they clocked him. I think it was like 16 or 17 seconds from the time that he started walking into the ball to the time that he pulled the trigger to hit the putt, and then that putt that he made on the 18th hole to get into that playoff with Rocco, it was the same time. So the routine is super important on the golf course because we need to be able to get comfortable there. We need to get comfortable on the course. Get into a rhythm, get into a flow, and be able to play the game. And if we don't have much of a routine, we're going to be a little bit all over the place. And that's the thing that I found in my own experience. So once I started really dialing in the routine, kind of understanding what I do, I could then kind of replicate it and practice it on the range. And then when I got to the golf course for the tournament, I could just focus on the process. So I could focus on my routine, focus on the golf shot that I needed to hit, sort of one shot at a time. And finally was able to get my range game to the golf course and developed a lot more consistency, mitigated a lot of those big numbers. Everything just got a lot cleaner and a lot more simple. Plus, overall, I ended up feeling a lot more comfortable on the golf course, which was great. There's nothing better than being able to trust your process on the golf course in a pressure-packed sort of situation. You need to make a putt, you need to hit a good tee shot. If you can focus on that process, there's a lot of peace there, and it allows you to execute. So where I got a lot of my routine information from was from the Vision 54 book by Lynn Marriott and Pia Nilsson. I've got a station set up here on the range, but I've got this little rod here that I use for alignment. So what I'll do is, this is called the decision line, right? So the way I break it up in my mind is that anything behind this line is kind of where I want to plan everything. It's where I want to make my practice swings. If I'm working on anything technical, I want to kind of get those feels. And then I want to really make a commitment to the golf shot that I'm trying to hit, whatever that is. I always believe that committing to the wrong plan is better than uncommitted to the right plan. So back here in the think box, this is where all the decision making is. And I can spend as much time as I want. Maybe the wind changes, maybe I'm thinking about what club I'm going to hit, whatever that is. So what I'll do is I'll start with just some short shots, but I've got a little shaded area here on the range. It's hot here in Atlanta, but I'll just kind of walk you through kind of how I practice this. So I'm just trying to hit, I think you can probably see there's a little red flag out there, maybe 60 yards from here. But what I'll do is I'll get behind the ball, I'll just look at it, and I'm thinking I'm going to hit a little 60-yard lob wedge, right? I'm going to start it over that little divot in front. I'm going to make a good smooth swing, and then just see the ball kind of tracking towards that flag. So I'll got the shot dialed in. I'll feel that in the think box, just a few little rehearsals. I'll get behind it, get it lined up, and then I'll cross that decision line. And my focus is putting the club face down to the spot, taking my stance to the club face, one look at the target, and then make the swing. So I was about 10 yards short there. And that's fine. I hit a good golf shot. And then I'll go back and go through the same process, knowing that I hit that first one short. So I'm looking at the target, right? Same little shot, 60, 65-yard shot, feel it. Got my spot in front of the ball in line with the flag. Cross the decision line. Put the face down. Stand to the face. One look at the target, swing. Little thin, but the line was good. And I'm not so focused on the result. I'm more focused on just getting the process. So that face to the spot, take my stance to the face, one look at the target, and then swing. I need to get that as consistent as possible. And if you have a friend, girlfriend or wife, or somebody that can time you, it's really, really good to kind of see on a normal shot with a simple routine, what's your time? So what seconds, how many seconds does it take you to cross it? Once you cross the decision line, the timer starts, and then once the club head moves away from the ball, the timer stops. And that period of time there is where we have to be as consistent as possible. So I got it again, little 65-yard shot. Make my practice swings. Got my spot, cross the decision line, face down to the spot, stance to the face, one look at the target, go. And that was good. That was a perfect shot. And so you can start with like a sand wedge, and then you want to have it be as consistent as possible for all shots, from the fairway or from the golf course. And then I'll go up to a 7-iron, and I'll do the same thing. So got the 7. I'm going to hit it over that red flag. Little wind out to the left, so I see it kind of floating to the right. So I'm going to start it over that red flag there. Got my shot. Make a few practice swings and just feel a good golf swing. Got my spot, cross the decision line, face down to the spot, stance to the face, one look at the target, hit it. It was a perfect shot. And you don't need to go crazy with this, but like 10-15 minutes of this after a practice session is really good, focusing just on the time. Because this is exactly what I duplicate on the golf course. So I hit one more, same shot, hit it at that red flag and let the wind kind of float it to the right. Make a few swings. Got my spot, cross the decision line, face to the spot, stance to the face, one look at the target. Another decent shot. I missed it a little bit more to the right, but that's all right. Hit it good. Now this is the type of stuff that you want to get really good at. So if you can sprinkle some of this type of practice in 10-15 minutes at the end of a session, you're going to feel really comfortable on the course. And then when you get to the first tee for the Saturday game or the Wednesday game, whatever you play, you can just get focused and get comfortable with the process that you've been practicing. So your body and everything, your nervous system will get comfortable regardless of the situation, and then you can just focus on executing the process. You can take it one step further too on the course when you're practicing. Have somebody time you on the golf course as well, so you can see, do you have a tendency to get quick? Do you have a tendency to get slow? What's sort of your tendency? My tendency is I get a little bit fast, I get rushed, I kind of make decisions quickly, right? Don't factor things in as much as I could in the think box. So my tendency has always been on the fast side. And so when I'm under pressure playing, I'm constantly trying to just keep my rhythm and keep my pace of walk and all of that stuff as cool and calm as I possibly can. Regardless, the more consistent I can be with that time, with that measurement of time from when I cross the decision line to when I pull the club away from the ball, the better off I'm going to be. And I can just flat out trust that when I'm playing golf. So I hope this really helps you. If you have any questions, feel free to make a comment or send me a message. And yeah, if you like the content, please subscribe. We're still going to do this, once a week, and try to get this channel built up to help a lot of people. Thanks for the time, much appreciated, and we'll see you on the next video.